we had an acronym WAYT.
Yeah, it was not.
You weren't there. So it was, what are you thinking? We wanted to know what everyone was thinking because we wanted their ideas.
Oh.
We wanted to find out because, they're listening to the talk shows.
Yeah.
They're listening to the brilliant people on TV. They're listening. And you know what? I remember when I was an assistant coach, Thursday night was the call-in show for Coach Bruce.
Yeah.
Friday morning, we got our heads ripped off.
Really?
Because he'd come in, this caller called in, and you know what? They're probably right.
Oh,
and we'd be sitting there as a staff, and so forth. But as I sat there for 3 years getting beat up every Friday morning and listening to it, I thought, there was a lot of things that people said that maybe we hadn't
true,
thought
or
of,
actually could help.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was like, ooh, you know what? Sometimes you're too close to a situation.
It's hard to hear the truth,
right?
Sometimes,
and you don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And so having that culture of everyone's input is important. And I would think you guys with your show, it can't be just, well, what does Pat think and AJ think, and no one else.
Oh yeah, you absolutely have to. And we make the joke. It's a line from Ted Lasso. Pat says all the time, "I don't want to bring an umbrella to a brainstorm." He'll say, it's a great line from the show, and it makes sense though too. You can't be scared to. I wonder that when you ask players, "Hey, what do you think and what's on your mind?" Are they anonymously giving it to you? Because a lot of times players are always worried. I know, at least for me as a coach, it's probably just from growing up with my coaches and in high school, which a lot of kids don't have that fear now. Whenever I spoke to the media in high school, college, or whatever, I just didn't want to say anything that my coaches would get mad at. That's all I ever thought of. I don't think that happens much now, but I wouldn't. It'd be, for me at least, I would always. People are scared of a coach if I say oh no, this needs to be changed, and they're like, oh, the coach is going to bench me. He hates me now. How do you create that environment though to where they feel comfortable giving feedback?
Remember those surveys we made you fill out?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, the assistant coaches never saw those.
Yeah.
But they saw the results. And
that's
so,
good.
I can remember Coach Fickle. He used to, every year when we would go over the summary, and one of the questions was always, well, how can my position coach help me get better?
Yeah.
What can he improve on? Because, we always tell the players what they can improve on. Why don't we get the opposite? So we'd put that big list up of, well, here's what the players say that the assistant coaches can do. And I can picture Luke there. That was Bobby.
That's Bobby. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah. And it's easy to, yeah. Okay.
But we did keep it anonymous because I promised each of you, I said, look, I need to know. And there was a question, what can the head coach do better? You don't want people to just be silent, because if they're thinking you could do something better, well, and you don't find that out, I don't know how you build that team. And the team gets built by your input's valuable.
Yeah.
I don't care what position you play. I don't care if you're an equipment guy, taping ankles, whatever. The sound check at your radio show. Every one of those people is important, and we want to hear what they have to say. And to me, that's an intentional thing. I don't care what your organization is. Hearing what your people think. I always say this: there's two things that can happen when I find out what these three guys behind the cameras think. There's two things that can happen. One, I can get a good idea. Say, oh shoot, you know what? You're probably right.
Yeah.
The other is I can clarify some thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see why you think that, but consider this and this and this, and here's why I think we ought to do it that way. But at least you found out what they're thinking.